Good morning. Greg Flanagan here with Fridays with Flanagan every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, soon to be Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We come to you live from Charleston, South Carolina, bringing you the latest in what's happening in real estate, where we ought to be, mind, skill level, mindset, everything like that. Today we're talking about mindset and what kind of mindset you need for the spring selling season. And, I think everything starts in this business with mindset. And it's kind of I want to take you on let me share a story with you. There's three things you need as far as what's going to help you in this business to succeed. All right. It's mindset, attitude, and your approach to life. Those three things are probably the most important thing that's going to help you accomplish anything in your life. And there was a time in my life where I really didn't have those things. I've always been a driven person. There's no doubt about it. And I've been driven to the point of you can have a driven mindset and still succeed, but it doesn't make good for your life or your attitude. Years ago, there was a recruiter, we'll call him Adam, and I was working in another real estate agency, and he started calling me up, and I was unrecruitable at the time, right? Because I was winning. I was making a lot of money, doing everything I needed to do, didn't care who I stepped on the way through. And one of the things that he brought to light as we went through this process over 2 or 3 years was my attitude. My mindset was right. I was going to win, and that's important. Have a good mindset that you coming from abundance and not scarcity, which we'll talk about later. But my attitude was, I looked at him and went, well, what do I need you for? I wasn't open, right? I wasn't open to any kind of change. I knew what I knew, and that was all I needed to know. And I think he unlocked the key to me. And I was no spring chicken, okay? I was probably in my mid-50s at the time. I was no spring chicken. But I knew what I knew, and I didn't need to know anymore. And Adam asked me a question during one of our recruiting sessions, which were usually very short, very direct, because that's the way both of us are. He didn't ask me. He made a statement. It wasn't so much a question. It was a statement. He says, Greg, and I had been a little snarky to him. I was very snarky back then. He said, there's a difference between you and I. I said, what's that? He said, I read books. And I was like, what difference does that make? What difference does that make? And I gave him some snarky answer and pretty much walked out on him. I said, this young whippersnapper, was probably another word I had back then, but this young whippersnapper is telling me that he's smarter than I am? Come on, that's ridiculous. My attitude was such that I really wasn't an accepting person. I wasn't open to change, okay? But he did shut me down. All of a sudden, now I'm starting to think, what does he mean by reading too much? And that's where my attitude started to change. Okay, I started reading more. I started reading more introspective books. I started reading more about myself. I started learning about myself. Okay, and that's an important thing towards mindset. And I'll get to how we're going to work this into the spring selling season. So mindset's number one. When you have a good mindset, a driven mindset, that's where I am. You got a good attitude. You start changing your attitude. And then you have to look at the approach to life. Another story. My approach to life was, hey, I'm driven. I don't care where you're going. And my approach is do it now or don't do it at all. I need what I need right now. I was very abrupt. I was very snarky, super sarcastic. I'm still sarcastic. I love that part. But, the approach was I really don't give a damn what's going on in your life. This is my life, and I'm going to go forward. And what changed that for me was one year we're doing real estate, And it was a deal going on. I don't remember what deal, when it was, a couple of years back, quite a few years back. And this agent, man, I blasted her. There was something that I wanted. She didn't answer me quick enough. And in those days, quick enough was like immediately drop everything you're doing. That's what I expected. And that's what I wanted. And that's what turned my button, or hit the hot button, or what do they push buttons? This pushed my button when you didn't answer me. And I emailed her again, or I texted her, and she just came back at me and said, listen, nobody dies in real estate. And that was it. And of course, back then, my approach to life was about, are you kidding me? This is like, we have to get it done today. And I was typing out this message, and I was hammering it out. And, it was blasting her, and I was going to give it to her. And I stopped. I said, what good is this doing me? Who is the only person that's upset? It's me. It's me. And I said, is it worth me? I mean, she's obviously taking the approach that you're not going to bother me because I control my own life. And that's the approach I started taking in my life. It's we control our emotions. We control what we think. We control our surroundings. And in real estate, we control our deals. We control our clients. And we make what we need to happen without all the drama. And that's important. Okay, when you get rid of drama in your life becomes so much more. It's about relaxing. If you haven't relaxed in a long time, look around your life. Who's creating the drama? Get rid of some of those people because you don't need it. You can get rid of them, or I'm not going to say get rid of all of them because some of them might be your spouse or something that you truly love but just can't deal with. It's about helping them grow into a better life with you. And I think that's the most important part. And that's one of the parts I like about what I do for a living is I help people get that mindset, attitude, and approach to life all together and move them forward to the next step in their life. It's important. It's important. Confucius, and I'm not a good quoter, so don't hold me to this. Confucius said something like, if you're holding a burning stone and you're ready to throw it at somebody, who's going to get hurt more? You are, because you're holding the stone. Let go of it. Let go of that part of your life. Let go of the drama. Drop the rock. Drop the hot stone. There's no reason to carry it with you, because the more you carry it with you, the more it's going to hurt. Open your fist. Let it go. Just let it go. Okay? And you'll see your life start to change a little bit. I know I did. I read a lot of books. I guess he was right. I did read a lot of books, and it helped me. It helped me along with my journey, which is kind of fun. Am I no, I'm not a perfect guy. Believe me, I can get torqued up in a minute, but now I get torqued up and I can talk myself down. So in this season of selling, especially when there's not a lot of inventory, but a whole bunch of buyers, how do you take yourself from that and actually win the deal? And we're going to go through some self-mastery today. Okay, and it's going to be short on the self-mastery, but I promise you, I'm going to give you a couple of strategies on multiple offers, whether you're a seller or a buyer. I'm going to give you a strategy on how to pick up a seller. Just bear with me. I got to grab another sheet here so I stay on mark. Otherwise, we'll be here for hours because I just love to talk to myself. So, we're big on self-mastery. When you start mastering yourself and you got your mindset, your attitude, and your approach to life coming together, conjoining in this circle, right? There's that little piece as you bring the circles together. There's that little piece when everything just lines up perfect. Well, if you get it all lined up perfect, you call me and let me know, because I'm still trying to get those pieces. They move in and out, but keep trying, because that's what it's all about. Mastery in and of itself consists of, and this is by Malcolm Gridley, Malcolm with the outliers, Malcolm Gladwell with the outliers. It's a book. One of the things Gladwell says in his book is that mastery takes 10,000 hours of practice, of doing, of time over task. He calls it time over task. So if you want to master yourself, master your mind, practice. Take those practices every day, whether you're using Miracle Morning, Savers is a great one. Anything that you want to do and master, it's going to take you 10,000 hours to do it if you practice, if you do the time over task. Okay, so it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey. It's not an event. This goes on and on and on. I started about 6 years ago, and I'll tell you, I'm there as far as mastering it. I still have a long way to go, though. I think for total self-mastery, I've got a long way to go. So when you commit to achieving self-mastery, I'm going to give a little read here so I don't mess it up at all. Know your goals, know your strengths and weaknesses, and know how to work with both your strengths and your weaknesses to seek and master the necessary knowledge, skills, and habits to reach your goals. How did I do that? I took a lot of self-assessments. I did a lot of journaling. I still do. I think journaling is one of the top things you can do because it puts your thoughts down on the page, and you start to learn about yourself. As far as assessments are concerned, you can do your DISC. You can do, how do they say it? Anagram. You can do those. I think one of my best, you've heard me talk about it before, is the Gallup Strengths Finder, right? That's about $50. That'll give you a great knowledge of where you want to be and what you want to do. There's one thing that high achievers understand, that before they can pursue mastery of any endeavor they choose to undertake, they must commit to pursuing a baseline of self-mastery. Again, take care of yourself. Do it. Now, we talk about scarcity. We talk about abundance. That's it for self-mastery. Get those things done. Look at yourself real deep. Ask yourself some hard questions. John Maxwell, in his book, Good Leaders Ask Great Questions, has a few powerful questions in there that you want to read. Pick that book up. It's a great book. All right, winning mindset tactics for spring selling season. We go from scarcity to abundance. What's scarcity? What's a scarcity mindset? There's no listings out there. Guess what? Right now, we're in the hottest market we've been in the last 20 years. So somebody's got the listings. My buyer never wins. Another scarcity, right? What are you saying to yourself? We're not going to win. When you come from scarcity, you're thinking, your attitude is down in the dump. You're coming from a place of not believing you can do something, not believing you're in yourself, in the process, in the system. We go back to being committed to self-mastery and then going from E to P or to 5 steps. Focus, find strategic options, find models to follow, install the systems and accountability. Bring those into your life and start building on that. And the scarcity starts going away. Because when you have those systems in place, okay, and you have the goals in place, and you're focusing on the goals, and you're doing your 20%, you're going to come into this abundance mindset. There are listings out there. Matter of fact, in my market last night, there were 119 new listings came on the market. There's 7,500 real estate agents. What was the difference between those 11 listings and the 7,500 real estate agents, or the 7490, 7400 that didn't take a listing yesterday was probably a system, was probably an action. They had the abundance to say, you know what? I understand it's out there and I'm going to go get it. Instead of sitting back and saying, there's nothing out there. I can't do a darn thing. We've had more listings posted since January 1st, 2021 through today than we've ever had posted during the same time frame in the past. Thank you. There you go. Abundance comes from knowing those details. Abundance comes from feeding yourself, right? Get that mastering. This would be mastering the numbers. I don't know who that is because all I see is Facebook user. But this comes from mastering your numbers, knowing your numbers, right? Knowing your numbers, mastering your numbers. It's a mindset of, I'm going to go out there and take one of those listings because there are listings available. Now, are you going to work for those listings? You have to. You have to master your craft of how to get those listings. One of the ways I'm going to share something that I've done in the past 2 weeks, and it's worked for me. I have a handout. Hold on. Okay. Top 10 questions you must ask before hiring a listing agent to sell your home. Think outside the box. Think outside the box. Think about this. Why is it so tough to market to sellers? Everybody's asking the same question. Hey, you want to know what your house is worth? Who cares? Right? That's a commodity nowadays. Knowing what your house is worth is a commodity. You can go to, get in Google right now and go, what's my house worth? You're going to get 1,000 sites. Everybody wants you to go to their site to get the number. You can go to any one of those sites and get the number, right? What you can't get are questions asked. So what I did was I put that book, I put a little Facebook ad and said, hey, click here for the top 10 for this PDF for the top 10 selling home questions. And you know what happened? In 8 days, I got 4 seller leads. So if you want seller leads, think outside the box. Think outside the box. The seller doesn't know where they are going to go. They are afraid. Great. So let me ask you a question. How do you beat that? What is the answer there? What's the creative answer to that? I've got the answer because we've done it. We've done it. Let's stay with this. Let's stay with the buyers. You want to get your buyer bought, and I don't know what kind of what the people are here as far as level of selling or industry experience. To get your buyer approved, or to get your buyer to win a multiple offer situation, you need to have the strongest offer with the strongest buyer. It's not about price. It's about terms. It's about terms, right? You need to bring your buyer to the table, and they need to be not only pre-approved, but underwritten. So the only thing that's left on the table is the value of the house. And if you're negotiating that away, that's great too. The inspection, well, you know what? If you've got a good agent that's been around for a while and you understand what a house looks like, maybe you're a previous owner, you can still have the inspection, but just accept that there might be things wrong with it in this selling season. So bring your buyers in, make sure they're underwritten. It's a PIA sometimes. Get yourself a good lender, a lender who's going to call the listing agent and say, hey, we have underwritten this person. They are perfect. We can close, shorten your days. Everybody's out there 45, 50, 60 days. Get your lender to shorten those days up. I want a 21-day close. Can you do it? And make sure they can do it. Bring down your days on closing. 21 days closing. So you got a pre-qualified approved lender, whatever you want to call it, qualified approved. You got the buyer that's straight. You got your lender that's straight. Give the option to the folks that are in the house. Just like you said, the seller doesn't know where they're going to go. How do we handle it? You know what, Mr. Seller? We're going to close in 21 days. We're going to lock this thing up, and we're going to give you a 90-day lease back so you can find a home. Because you just took all that pressure away from the seller and said, hey, stay where you are. We're going to charge you, market rent. You're going to pay that no matter where you are, whether it's in a mortgage or in rent. Okay, you can stay right where you are. Take your time packing up. And then 90 days from now, we're going to move in. These are tactics to get people into homes. These are tactics that are winning. I'm hearing people paying $40,000 and $50,000 and $60,000 above, and all kinds of crazy addendums. I think it comes down to making sure both parties get what they want and get what they need. Take away the fear. Just like we said there, the seller doesn't know where they're going to go. They are afraid. If you mitigate that fear and you say, there are homes out there, Mr. Seller, and we're going to find you one. Okay? Come from abundance. There are homes out there, and we will find you one. 119 homes come on the market every day. We're going to find you one. Okay? Put your home on the market. Let's get a buyer. We're going to sell pretty quickly. You're in a good shape. And then we're going to go out and look for homes. Will that work? That's coming from abundance. That's not coming from scarcity. Scarcity is like, Greg, here I'm the seller. Greg, I don't want to put my home on the market because you're right. You know what? It's a horrible market out there. Nobody has anything to sell. There are no homes on the market. Get over that. There are homes on the market. If you want to sell in this market, you've got to come from abundance. Okay, you've got to come from abundance. Anybody got any questions on that? Okay. I am happy to share those. I've got a couple of different sheets that I can share. You can drop your email in the comments. You can email me direct, greg@poweronwardmastermind.com. Visit the website. Whatever you want to do, drop in. We're going to be doing a webinar on March 11th. It's about an hour. It's an hour webinar. My voice is giving out. I'm sorry. I want you to be there for that too. All right. Any questions? So mastery, it's all about 10,000 hours of practice. It's not about reading. It's about practice. Okay. You got to get out there and practice. You want to master sales, practice sales. You want to master cold calling, practice cold calling. 10,000 hours worth. What's 10,000 hours? 5 years. If you're working every day, it's 5 years. If you're working 16 hours a day, it's 2.5 years. Okay, if you're practicing your craft every day. So master what you want to do. Master your mindset. Master your attitude. Master your outlook on life. Remember that you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. I'll tell you a story years ago. One January, now we have dry January. And it's kind of funny because I made a quick decision one December for a group of folks I was hanging with. Higher thinking people, these were guys I'd never hung around with before. And we were challenging each other what we were going to do. I love beer. I love beer to this day. I haven't had a beer in, I think it's going on 5.5, 6 years, because I made that challenge. And I mastered the art of not drinking. It's kind of screwy. It's kind of weird, but you can do anything you put your mind to. It's all about coming from a mindset of I'm going to win. I'm going to win. And I won that one too. So no questions. I appreciate y'all for coming. It's March 5th. It's a beautiful day. Sun shining down here in Charleston, South Carolina. Hope the sun is shining where you are, or at least will be shining coming up. If throughout the week you need me, I'm a big collaborator. Just reach out to me. I'd love to have a conversation. I have a Calendly link, which you can pop into, make an appointment, 15-minute intervals, 30-minute intervals, an hour, whatever you need. If you need some help with your business, give me a holler. Happy to do that too. If you just need some guidance going through, trying to make it to the next level, I can help you there too. Okay. I've been through it. I'm a solo agent. I've got a small team at the same time. Whatever you need, you got me. All right. I appreciate your hanging out with me. Hope I didn't bore you too much today. 25 minutes, 21 seconds. That's pretty darn good. And my assistant here, Nathana, who's out there. Look at this. There she is. This is the back. This is the person that throws up all my stuff. Welcome, Nathana. She is on vacation. She came in just to do the show today. So I appreciate y'all. Have a good day.